So Blackburn are out, as are Yeovil. They've been beaten 4-2 by Premier League West Brom at Hewish Park. They've started this season well in League One, the win, and they gave it a really good go tonight.
They've got 11 goals in the first 4 games, top of the league, and Gary's got some good young players, a lot of pace in wide areas. You know, Foley and Marsh Brown caused West Brom a load of problems. In fact, I'd say they were fortunate to go in, you know, ahead of half time. Really, you know, it was a sloppy bit of goalkeeping that allowed to Longs, you know, if you like, the goal to put them in the lead. Other than that, you know, I thought Yeovil were very inventive. You know, ups and looked nice in midfield, but in the end they just made some critical mistakes at bad times, and then they also, on the end of 2 great goals, one from Long and one from Chris Brunt, which were out the top draw.
West Brom have made a good start themselves under Steve Clark. Does this sort of result show there's some real resilience in that team?
Well, 10 changes. Only Shane Long started, who got himself a couple of goals, would be good. And no Lukaku, which was surprising. He must be injured, wasn't even on the bench, which was a bit of a blow. Looking forward to seeing him. But I've got to say, Marcus Rosenberg, who they signed from Werder Bremen, played, hit the post, but didn't do a lot. And in the end, they took him off and brought and made a little change the play around. And that's when they started to look more dominant, you know. And Steve Clark made some good subs when they went 3-2 up. Took off Guerra, brought off Malumba, and the total pattern of the game changed. He looked more physically demanding. He dominated the midfield, and they cruised into a comfortable 4-2. But for long periods of the game, Gary Johnson's side were excellent.
Well, let's have a look at the goals then, Ian. And as you said, Gary Johnson's side excellent, and it was they who struck first.
Yeah, it's a good boy step. Ups and in, and Ruben Reid continued what he did last year, getting the end of things, nudging, very disappointing. They caused them problems from set pieces all night, and this was, you know, what we're talking about. Guerra feeds Brunt, and you know, there's a better left foot in the Premier League. You know, he could. I think the keeper maybe do better, but you've got to take it. You have to. Chris Brunt's a brilliant hit. And here comes the end. The keeper very comfortable. Steck just drops it, gets 2 chances. Long gets himself a tap in. So you know that set the pattern. But to be fair to the spirit of Gary Johnson's side, they've done all year. They can get a goal. This was Foley with a brilliant ball. He skins Dawson, then stands up. A wonderful ball. Reid's got nothing to do but head it in. And now you think that it's on again. Here's the one. It comes out to El Ganassi, Nassine El Ganassi. It gets the deflection. I think it's off Hines. Nothing the keeper can do about it. And that bit of luck went their way. From then on, he made the change with Malumba, and they looked very comfortable. And it pops back out and Long. It's a nice drill strike to kill the game off. But you know, a difficult place to go. It could have been a tricky one. So Steve Clark continued the great start to the season, and they're important because, as Clive said, he's got 9 of his other players very much involved. They feel part of the Premier League team because they've had their outing tonight and got through the tie.
Just from a Yeovil point of view, last few seasons in League One, 17th, 14th, 15th, 17th, we're used to seeing them mid to lower half of the table. Anything to suggest that they can keep this form going?
Yeah, I think Hayter, you know, James Hayter and Ruben Reid up front are a handful. Foley and particularly Keanu Marsh-Brown, you know, well supported by Luke Ayling down that right-hand side. You know, McAllister's a class actor at that level at left back. And you know, and Byron Webster and Richard Hines, they've got a bit of power, so it looks a well-balanced side, I think. And you know, I would expect them to continue their good form and be up at the top of League One.
Thank you, Ian. We'll keep an eye on Yeovil's progress and West Brom, of course, throughout this season. It's West Brom who are through to round 3.